today we are going to be working on simplifying expressions. We've learned that simplifying means to put together or combine numbers and variables that are alike. So we're going to put together the things that are alike. We've also talked about during math class what like terms and unlike terms are. If we look at like terms, you'll see that they have the same variable. So if you look at the first ones, numbers 1 and 13, those are alike. They're both just normal numbers. I could add a -5 to that list. Those are alike. Over here, they're not like because this one has an x with it. Okay, if we go down to the next row, 2y and 8y. They both have y's, so they are like terms. I could add a half a y. That would still be alike because it has a y for its variable. If I look at this column, these are unlike terms because this one has a y, but this one's variable is y squared. So those are not alike. If I go down to the next one, their variables are r's. Okay, these are not alike because this one just has r, this one has rs. And then the last column, we have m squared. So those are alike. Over here, m squared and p squared, it's not the same thing. So these are unlike terms. If we have like terms, we are able to combine them. We can put them together. That means we can add like terms together. So if I had a 1 and a 4, I could put those together, it equals 5. I added these like terms together. I can do the same thing with terms that have variables. All right, so to add like terms together, you can add their coefficients. A coefficient is the number part of the term. So for example, I have this problem, 2x's plus 3 more x's. All right, they have the same variable, so they are like terms. Now I can just add their coefficients together. So this coefficient is 2, this one is 3. 2 plus 3 equals 5x. I just simplified this expression. 2x plus 3x, that's the same as 5x. Let's look at another example. Here I have the problem 5x plus 2 plus 3x minus 4. And my directions would be to simplify this. First thing that I like to do is go through, and wherever I see subtraction, I'm going to add the opposite. All right, so I'll take care of that right away. Second thing, I'm going to look for like terms, and I'm going to circle them. So I'll start with my x's. I have a 5x here. I have a 3x here. Okay, those are like terms. I'm going to put them together by adding their coefficients. So 5 plus 3 gives me 8 x's. I like to cross them off after I use them so I know that I've used everything. Then I'm going to look for more like terms. Well, I see 2 and -4. Those are both normal numbers. Okay, I'm going to add those together. So I know that 2 plus -4 is -2. So my answer is 8x plus -2. I can also write it the other way, -2 plus 8x, because when you add, the order does not matter. This would be my simplified expression. All right, let's take a look at another problem. This problem, I have 2a squared b minus 3ab minus 5a squared b plus 7ab. All right, first thing I'm going to do is go through and add the opposite. Add the opposite. I know this because of my integer rules. All right, then I'm going to look for like terms. Well, I'll start with my ab's. I see here I have a -3ab and a 7ab. I'm going to look at their coefficients, 7 and -3, and add those together. So I know that 7 plus -3, that equals 4. So I have 4 ABs. I'm going to cross these off because I know that I use them. All right, I'll get this out of here. And then I'm going to look at my other terms. They're a squared b. They both have a squared b, so I can put those together. So I have a 2 and a -5. Well, I know that 2 plus -5 is -3 a squared b. This would be my simplified expression. I can't put these together because they are not like. This one's ab, this is a squared b. All right, let's take a look at one problem that involves the distributive property. All right, so first thing I usually always do is I go through and double slash, so I'm going to add the opposite. All right, now we learned about the distributive property. This means right here, 2 times parentheses 4a plus 2c. That means I have 2 groups of this. 2 groups of 4a plus 2c. We learned a shortcut way to figure out what would that be. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 4a. So I have 2 groups of 4a's. That's going to give me 8a. Plus, I have 2 groups of 2c. So 2 times 2c is going to give me 4c. Okay, now I'm just going to rewrite everything else. I have an 8 up front and a negative 8c in the back. Okay, now I'm going to look at these 4 terms and see if there's anything that is like. All right, well, this is an 8. There's no normal numbers. I don't see any a's, so now I just have the c's. I'll put my c's together. So I have 4c plus negative 8. So I look at 4 plus negative 8, and that is negative 4c. All right, I use those, and I can't put those together, so I'm just going to add them on. So my simplified answer, doesn't matter the order because it's adding, is negative 4c plus 8 plus 8a. All right, let's look at one more with the distributive property that looks a little bit different. All right, here, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to add the opposite. Now, if I look right here, I see I have parentheses around the x plus 2. There's no number in front of there. If there's not a number, that's the same as multiplying it by 1. I can put a 1 right there, and then if I'd like, I can add the opposite. Now I have a number to distribute. All right, so I can think, what's negative 1 times x? Well, that's negative 1x plus what's negative 1 times 2? Negative 2. Okay, took care of all this stuff. All right, now I will put the first number up front, 5 plus, and then plus negative 3x in the back. All right, now I can add my like terms together. So I have a 5 and a negative 2. Those are both normal numbers. So 5 plus negative 2 is 3. Cross those off. Look at my other terms. I have x's. Negative 1x and negative 3 more x's. Put those together. Negative 1 and negative 3 is negative 4 x's. And there is my simplified problem. Sometimes you may have problems where you can't simplify. For example, we may be given this problem. And the directions may say to simplify. If you look at the problem, I don't see any terms that are alike. This is an AB, this is an A, this is a B. I cannot put those together. So this would be my simplified answer already. I cannot simplify it any more than that. That concludes our simplifying expressions lesson.